association with D-Tube.
Hello fellow Steammeisters and welcome to another Show Me update, the Stealth Water Methanol Injection Kit. We've just had the Beast from the East and Storm Emma just ransacked the UK for the past few days. Things are starting to warm up again, so I can crack on with being outside and working further on the Show Me project. So in this video I'm going to try and establish what's the default adjustment set for the boost switch, because I contacted the seller on eBay. It's a Sub-Zero boost switch, but that's not the seller, I don't believe. Different eBay ID. But I've contacted him a few weeks ago asking him is there any technical data or what the switch is positioned to engage at, depending on what boost. I've not had any reply from him. So before I get a chance to fit this unit in the car, I'll have a go at trying to work out at what point the boost switch is engaged by this little bit of a setup you're going to see shortly. It's a bit ad hoc, but hopefully give me a rough idea, because the worst case scenario is I don't want to fit it, not adjust it, and then have the boost switch engage at really low PSI, so like 2 or 3 PSI, and I don't know, there's possibly a chance I could hydrolock the engine if there's not a lot of air movement going into the intake, but a lot of water, relatively speaking. I suppose there's a slim chance I could hydrolock the engine or bog the engine down or do something and it might throw up an error code or something. So I just want to establish what the boost switch engages at. I think these particular 1.6 Volkswagen TDI engines, I'm sure I've read somewhere that the peak boost is about 20 psi. So I might set it to roughly about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 psi to start with. Obviously I'm going to have to do some driving with the setup and establish how the engine runs, unless I can find some information on the internet at what RPM and the boost figures are, and take it from there. But just for a baseline figure, I'm going to try and sort out what PSI the switch is engaged and try and adjust it so it's set to about 8 or 9 PSI before it kicks in, and then I should be fairly safe to install it in the car and move on from there. So I've droned on for enough time now. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Stay tuned, or don't stay tuned, whatever. You might have fallen asleep by now, I don't know. So I was going to go all really technical and use some of these battery packs and get some big lights and connect it all up to the switch, and I'd need crocodile clips and all that kind of bollocks just to test the boost switch. And I thought, you know what, stuff it. I'm just gonna use the continuity tester on the multimeter. So let's just turn it on to the beepy one, which it's on. Just get the 2 prongs. It's a very faint buzzer, but you should hear it. Ready? We'll just make the contacts. Yeah, that's very quiet. Right, so I've just put another spade connector on just to hold the pin in place. So hopefully we've got the circuit. So what I'm going to use now is a foot pump, which I think's got a leak in it, which I've connected to a tube adapter and onto the boost tube, into this T-piece, and then into the switch there, and the other end, which will actually go to the the connector on the intake manifold. I've just got it pinched off with a clamp so the air can't escape. This is what will have the boost. This will be connected to the boost gauge in the cabin. So I've got it all rigged up. It is holding some PSI. I mean, this is a few minutes ago. I'm still holding about 12 PSI there. It keeps dropping off. There you go. Did you hear the beep? Can you hear it? Right, it's beeping about 18 PSI. Can you hear that? if I just release some pressure, there, pressure's dropped and it stopped beeping, so I think its default setting is about 18 psi. Well, that's fortuitous, folks. I've still got 10 psi in the setup somehow. It's holding at 10 psi, and I have tweaked it a little bit. But if I just do it, you should be able to hear it beeping. So roughly here is a 10 psi mark. I'm just going to try and bleed another couple of psi out of the system and try again. Right, so here we go again, folks. I'm not picking it up well, but there we are, we're at 8 psi, and it stopped beeping. So I'll tweak it again, and if you try and listen for the buzzer, there you go. Go back a bit. So we go this way, cuts off, on, off. So about there, and we're still showing 8 psi. Oh, we've dropped to 6 psi now. We have lost a little bit of air, and it's slowly dropping again. So I'll get it back up to 8 and make a new adjustment. Right, this is going to be quick. So we're back at 8 psi. We're holding 8 psi. I'm just going to tweak it again now. We're just dropped under 8, just under. So I'm happy with that. We'll leave that for the time being. So there we go, folks. It's a very much ad hoc system. I'll just take it beyond so you can hear it buzzing. It's showing about 13 psi. I'm just going to let the pressure off with this. If you can hear the buzzing, wait for the sound to stop as I let some of the air out. There you go, about 7-8 psi it disengages. Job's a good one. Oh, and before I go, guess what's arrived today, folks? Let's have a look in here. Methanol. I've done the sellotape. Let's have a look inside. Look at this. I think there's plenty to be going on with there, don't you, folks? 5 litres there. And 5 litres there. I'm probably going to do maybe a 10% mix when I get around to it. Methanol to water. So that's going to last quite a bit, isn't it? I'll tweak the ratios if I need be, but I might not need any methanol. But 15 quid almost, including the shipping, and it was delivered within 24 hours, which I was really amazed. I mean, the seller was in Leeds as well, I believe, so it's not coming that far. So 10 litres of methanol. Nice. So I'll catch you all later, folks. Bye-bye.